When Google, what is their AI? Gemini?
Yeah.
And when ChatGPT do the research for you, they've already made a buying decision. They're like 80% ready to close if you just say the right things. And it doesn't even have to be elaborate.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
And you know what helps with that?
What?
Podcasts.
Podcasting. Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Experience, or should I say the heavily caffeinated podcast. I'm your co-host, Coach Joe Carroll with ActionCOACH Kansas City, and we have
Jared Taylor here with JT Visuals. That's without the eye because there's more than meets the eye. And if you are addicted to launching businesses or scaling businesses or learning more about how to market things, brand things, and systemize, then this is definitely the right place for you.
Yep, especially if you like caffeine. I'm addicted to all those things and caffeine. I don't know why I'm talking about caffeine right now. I think I just drank a lot. So.
I think caffeine is a KPI towards success.
It is. It is. How many you drink in a day?
Yeah.
One of the best shows that we did was the Starbucks show. Remember that? I love that. Like, there was all these caffeinated drinks and we were testing it. But anyways, look, the Entrepreneurial Experience podcast is all about the entrepreneur. The solopreneur, the startup, the rugged entrepreneurial veterans out there. This is for you because things are different for everybody. Everybody's in a different state when it comes to their business. Yeah. You might be in a startup. You might be a struggling veteran. Like you've been doing it for 20 years and you're struggling to figure something out in business. And this show is designed to have conversations around entrepreneurship to help you, the watcher or the listener, or if you're doing both, just find hope, to be able to find a community, to find humor in business, and just to get the raw truth about business. Business is amazing. Like it gives you amazing returns, but it comes at a price sometimes. And if we don't know certain things, we end up making mistakes. And if we don't fix it right away, then we make the same mistake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And sometimes you got to search for the mistake because you don't know. Like, where's my bottleneck? And then you need someone to talk you through that.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry to interrupt, but Joe, you got something on your chest.
When I failed my first 8 business, I chalked it up to a couple of things. Number one, I was very proud and I didn't learn how to build a business. But the second thing I realized is I didn't go to school for this. And that meant that I did not know what I did not know. So money, didn't know about it. Numbers, didn't know about it. How to lead, how to manage, how to hire, didn't know about that stuff. And on top of that, I didn't have a community that I built around me to figure those things out. So I blindly went on my own and I failed my first 8 businesses before I reached out for help.
And it's fun to try to figure things out and explore. But then there comes a point where you're like, wait, hold on. This matters so much more.
Yeah.
I can't ignore this. What are all the other successful business owners doing?
So we've provided something for you if you feel the same exact way. We've provided SKOOL, S-K-O-O-L, Entrepreneurial Experience, where you can actually have free content, business information, how to do certain things, marketing,
resources and PDFs.
And a community of people that are also in there that are entrepreneurs that love to give feedback and ask for feedback. So if that's something you're looking for, if you don't feel like you have the resources enough to help you become successful, join our SKOOL.
It starts for free. So what are you waiting for? Let's go. Go to jtvisuals.com/SKOOL. That's JTVisuals without the I, and that's SKOOL with a K.
Now back to the show. Well, here's one thing that's very, very common. They don't teach proper entrepreneurships in school.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm glad that we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
But what I'm finding as an amazing business coach, I'm tooting my horn really quick. But as a business coach, I'm just self-aware. As a business coach, I've coached hundreds of clients. And there's something in common, especially in the very beginning, when it comes to entrepreneurs' mindsets. And there's myths out there as to what it means to properly run a business. So I really wanted to take this time to talk about the common myths or mindset challenges that entrepreneurs face in the beginning, during, and even long-term afterwards. Just to kind of give you a little bit of it, my mindset was really rocked after I sold my first business because I was like, okay, what after, right? I thought I made it, and then I was like, oh, shoot, what's after? So just to kind of give you a little bit of a carrot right there. But I purposely didn't tell you the title because Jared is a naturally curious person. And when you ask those amazing questions in a curious state of mind, I feel like we go places. I'm curious. What is your first curious question?
So now you're curious too.
I know.
Like, we need George on here. I'm curious about when you set this up, the common thread. What is that common belief of the mindset?
Yeah. Well, I found that there's a common mindset challenge, belief, whatever you want to call it, myth, that's very, very it's like a pattern in the beginning. Like most startups and young businesses face a certain mindset challenge during your business as you're scaling. There's many opportunities for a mindset block or challenge or myths to believe. Ooh. And then after business, if you do it right, like me, I sold the business and there was things that I dealt with afterwards. But let's start with number one, startup to like young business. And I'm talking young business like 5, even 6 years old, struggling to make a couple $100,000.
Okay.
Because most businesses struggle to make even $100,000. Most side hustles that are businesses, things like that.
So that's probably like the first milestone. One's like deciding to start, and then one's getting past 1 to 200,000 in a year. Is that what you're talking about, or just in general?
In a year?
Okay.
Well,
over
in
the
general,
5 years.
But I'm talking about in a year, right? Like, I feel like most people's mindsets are like, hey, if I can make $100,000 in a year. Do you ever hear people talk about that? Like, I want to make 6 figures. 6 figures are 100,000.
Then I should be able to make that in a month.
Boom.
Right?
But from startup to that, one of the first mindset challenges that people face is when to start, how to start. You know, so most people have an amazing idea and a fantastic business that could provide so many solutions, but most stop at implementation.
I knew about marketing. But I didn't know about selling, which is funny because they're kind of hand in hand.
Yeah.
And I didn't know about running a business, but I did know about being a leader. And so I felt halfway capable, and I thought I would be a great number 2 person.
Right.
And I think that was in and of itself a limiting factor. And then when we first started coaching.
Oh, yes. I'm thinking about the first day we talked.
Yeah. Dude, he would ask what my revenue goals were. And they were low.
Yeah.
They were low. It was just me at the time.
Yeah.
But it was. Yeah. You're like, hey, look, one day we're gonna laugh about this.
And we are now.
And we're now. Now we're laughing at it.
Yeah. Well, so I think you're a perfect example because when we first built a relationship, you were truly a startup, moving from ministry into like this is going to become your full-time gig.
And I was freelancing here and there. I had my wife to fall back on because she's a fantastic supporter. She's a nurse. She made the income so we could stand on that.
You even had a podcast other than the Entrepreneurial Experience, and you're trying to make that work, right? That's crazy.
So I kind of in a way failed a bunch of businesses, but they weren't like true businesses.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about that. If we never met or you were never challenged in your mindset, you would probably still maintain those same ways of thinking, which, you know, I'm not going to talk about the revenue goal. However, your revenue goal only consisted of what you needed to bring in to just survive. I remember that. You're like, I just need to make this to take home. I'm like, wait, hold on. Like, you want to run a business?
Yeah.
Or do you want something to like just capture you and make you like in prison to this work?
And it's like, I do want an enterprise that can work without me, but then I didn't think of all the other things too, because you really got to learn it, which is the scalability.
Bingo. How
How long can this go? What's the deeper why? Like I know my personal why, but you also need to know your market why. Why? What makes you different? And that's when unique selling proposition starts coming into play. And you always help with that, but then there's uncertainty. So there's a lot of fishing and figuring it out, like where do I really belong? What does the market actually want? And I started in video production and just pushed what I thought I knew rather than survey and then say yes to what people actually need first. And I started with a website and then like this and this, and I cared about the look of it way more than it just actually going.
Exactly.
And so I was like, if I would have just got my first dollars first and not even care about a website.
So you just answered the question as to the first hurdle after starting the business, which is I have to get everything perfect before I start, or I have to get everything set up.
And you know what's funny is I thought my mindset was right because I have this saying and I still live by it, but done is better than perfect.
Yes.
I knew that during the time.
Yeah. And this is the funny thing about done. 4 years ago, your done was much better than today's done, right? Like your done will always upgrade and evolve.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
But you have to start somewhere and do things. So I was actually on a call today about 2 hours ago with somebody who doesn't like their job. They were referred by somebody. They're like, you know what? Look, you probably can't pay for business coaching, but, talk with Coach Joe. And the person that referred her was a good friend of mine. So I talked to this person, and she was talking about an idea to start a business, and it's a fantastic idea. It has to do with finances, helping people become free with debt and all that stuff. And that's a big need right now. And she realized it, but she was like, but I got to get this done first, and this done first, and this done first, and this done first. And I asked her 2 questions, said, how are you making money right now? I'm not. If you did all those things, when can you actually start implementing your marketing to try to capture and figure out who your target market is? About 6 months. I said, okay, cool. So do you have 6 months stashed away? No. I told her, I said, you need to make money right now. And as you make money, you become done to the level of excellence that you have at the moment. Your market will eventually start shifting, and the answers to who's my ideal client, how much should I charge, all that will come naturally.
Yeah.
Right? Now, is there a science and a way to go about it that's smarter? Yes, but I feel like in the beginning, most people stop themselves from implementing because they think they need the knowledge first.
Yeah.
But they don't realize that their knowledge right now is full of business ignorance because they've never done it.
Right.
So you have to actually go and do it to get the wisdom of business to evolve your knowledge.
So what this reminds me of actually is the same thing with your everyday normal people that aren't just entrepreneurs. And they have goals or dreams. And then if you just ask them directly, what's stopping you from doing that now? Well, we're building up perfection, and which actually ends up becoming an excuse. So perfection can be an excuse too.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not like we intend to sabotage the dream to make it perfect or anything like that. But it's like it has good intention.
Yeah.
But people who do wrong have good intention too.
Absolutely.
Like Thanos from
Marvel.
Like he
Marvel
had good intentions.
Yeah, but
he just went about it all wrong, and like
he did.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
So it's almost the same.
That's a good parallel.
So like if you go up and you go, hey, what's your dream? Oh, I don't know. Okay, well now if you don't know, your dream should be to find out your dream, because if you don't have an ambition in life, that doesn't seem right. Like you're not in tune with yourself to me. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, so I agree with you, but this is my experience. Most people know what their dreams are. They just don't know how to articulate it. Something brings them joy whenever they think of something. Of that thing. Something moves them emotionally when those type of people think about whatever that is.
Yeah, and Simon Squibb always says like it's oftentimes related to your deepest pain.
Yep.
And that's why some people don't know, because they don't want to go back down to their shadow self.
Dude.
And realize that. But it's like, dude, if you grew up in foster care, maybe foster care could be your way to help people in the system to, relate to them and everything.
Yeah. I agree.
But it's the same thing with business, to bring it back.
Yeah.
In those beginning stages, I think I was like that too, where I used perfection as an excuse. And that's in hindsight with good intent. I wanted it to be good and look good and quality over quantity and stuff. But like, dude, if you're not doing it, then the results really aren't there.
Yeah. Well, here's another way to think about it. You want to make it look perfect for who? For you or for your ideal client?
Yeah.
And chances are the perfection to you is nothing important to what the ideal client needs to see.
That's what I had to learn, because I would answer that in the past as it's for my ideal client, not for me. It's so like I can have that credibility.
But perfection is for us, because done is better than perfect. Well, perfect will always evolve as you upgrade your clients and as you upgrade your value, right?
Yeah.
You should always be learning. So your level of excellence will always increase. And then perfection will look different at that point.
So I was always amazed when people would book and they never even looked at the portfolio.
Because it's not important to them. You know what's important to them? Okay, this guy looks pretty legit. Let's see if he understands my pain. and why I possibly think that I need videography, basically, or coaching, or whatever it is out there. So when we try to create a perfect image, perfect logo, we're wasting a lot of our time. And chances are you're going to change a logo anyways.
Yeah,
or what you think people are going to look at is not what they look at as far as an ad and respond to. So that's another myth or mindset, like just block that a lot of people have when they're starting their business is I'm trying to get everything perfect before I launch. And for those who actually make the launch after they try to make it perfect, they get really disappointed that their perfect is nowhere near what their target market is looking for.
Yeah.
You're going to have to shift it anyways. So I always say, look, jump off the ledge, build your airplane while you're falling.
Yeah.
Because when you're falling, you understand what you're needing. But I would rather jump off the ledge in business, start, and make small amounts of money every single month than wait 8 months and drain my reserves to make a little bit at that point and then build from there.
Yeah. And there's also some realization of like if you're trying to build the elephant, maybe the elephant is perfection, How do you eat an elephant or whatever? Like, well, you can start with like in the building side of things, you could build one piece of it. And I never took time to dissect what I really wanted at the beginning.
Yeah.
And so like, how do we do that? What are the inputs to get this output? So, okay, what's another myth on the next level?
On the next level. Okay, so in the middle, it's so broad because in the middle, it could be $500,000, $1 million, $1 million to $5 million. So I'm going to go over a few myths or mindset barriers that a lot of people have within there. And the first one is about the operating system of a business.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people think, well, I'm a small business. And small could be relative to whatever you think small is, right? Technically, a business with less than 500 employees and doing less than, $100 million is considered small, right?
Yeah.
So that means we have micro businesses, right?
Wow.
So,
perspective, man.
A myth is like I don't have to pay attention to my operating systems or to the fundamentals of business because it's all revolving here. I'm small enough, people just want me to be there. So
and I can tell Susie, and Susie gets it. Like maybe there's one other person that a lot is.
Yeah, and if there's anything very common when I start meeting with businesses before we even sign up, is that their operating systems are so jacked up, and mostly within the brain and the mind and the memory of the owner-operator. So this leads to so much business frustration, especially for the owner. Have you ever felt or have you ever heard of other entrepreneurs say, gosh, like if my team could just figure this stuff out?
Yeah, I've heard that.
And I have clients in the beginning tell me like if my team can just figure it out, I'm like, like is that part of your system to figure this out for you? And is that trained on? Is that clear? Is it articulated on how to figure certain things out?
Did you teach them how
Did you teach them how to problem solve? And then they just look at me like, no, but they're supposed to figure it out. I'm like, well, your attrition is going to be high and you're going to be paying the price of profit to keep replacing good team members on your team.
Yeah.
Most of the time, people have great team members in needing to understand what is it really that they're supposed to do in the business. And so one of the myths within that myth is your team should figure things out. I'm like, no. No, you have to run your business as if you're running a daycare full of 4 or 5-year-olds. Like checklists. If this, then that. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Yeah. And then the second part of that is train on it frequently and measure results based off of that training.
I imagine a lot more is inside the system. And you could probably say this is the only thing.
Oh, no. That's one of the micro systems within the system of forgetting a bunch of things and having mindset barriers. Yeah.
Yeah. So another
that was
mindset.
A word salad, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah,
it was,
cool.
Yeah, it had some dressing on it. It was Italian.
Italian. French. I'm French. French dressing.
Wait, there's French dressing?
Yes. You've never had the red dressing?
I might have had it.
Okay.
I
You're
don't
about
know.
to figure out what you're going to say.
Face palm over here by producer.
You know what? Producer, right? French dressing? No.
Yeah,
it's the red.
Yeah, she obviously does. She did a face palm to me, so.
That's right.
Yeah. But no, I'm just.
It's nasty.
I'm just illiterate with what things are called. And oftentimes I'm like, hey, Rose, my wife, have I had this? Yes, we've done that. Yes, we've been there. Yes, we've had this. Or I'll be like, man, I've never had that. I don't know what French dressing is. If she was here, she'd be like, dude, we went to France and had this. Like,
yeah. Well,
so that's me.
it's not really French. I think they call it French, but it's not really French.
What?
Yeah, I know.
What's
I know.
next? French fries?
I know. Just call it. That's not
What's
French.
that? Made
it's
in
Belgium.
Greece?
Belge, or I think. If you know, put it in the comments, but I know it's not French.
But they like to call it French. They like to own it.
Did you know pineapple upside down cake was a mistake?
Okay, I actually really believe that. Because something I'm not going to say on podcast.
All right, that was a tangent. Okay, cool. Here's a couple of other within the mindset blocks of like while you're going through the business. There's so many different things. So we talked about the business operating system not needing to be universalized in your business. There's other myths. Here you go. Have you ever heard this? If I want things done right, I have to do it myself.
That's why I started my business.
Yeah. And that's why most people start their business. But and let's be clear. When I say business, if it's ran like that, you really just have a high-paying job that shuts off whenever you can't work.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted to work 24/7 so I can burn out.
Well, but you love doing what you're doing, right? I know he's being sarcastic here, guys. Have you heard the sarcasm? So that's the other thing. So it's like, well, if you think like that, that mindset block is going to prevent you from really keeping a team at a high level.
Yeah.
And you might have a bunch of helpers that you get frustrated with constantly. But that's the number one mindset barrier that causes eventual burnout.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like not giving them the chance, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, this wasn't originally their role or their task.
Mm-hmm.
So, or sometimes it stops you because you're like, oh, I'm going to spend so much more time to do this. If I just did it myself, it would be way faster and it would be done right. But that's also wrong too because time and training is an investment of time.
Yeah.
And then it's giving opportunity and buy-in and learning to the team.
Yeah.
And that's what I learned on the micro scale. But
yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. Most home service business owners struggle to make over $1 million because of that mindset. I got to do everything myself. How can you answer the phones, schedule the jobs, do the jobs, invoice as late as possible so you can stay up, and rinse and repeat and make 7 figures without dying? Right? A lot of people. Now, there are certain businesses where they can do that because material cost is really high, or labor costs and materials are really high. So I think of an owner-operator right now who is a general contractor that has high-end jobs. So total revenue coming in is $1 million, but his overall expenses, both gross and variable expenses, fixed and variable expenses, are about 80%. He just takes 20%. So, but he's working all the time. And he can't take a vacation because he's also the foreman. And if the contractors screw up and they don't come and fix it, guess what he's doing? He's either fixing it or finding somebody to come and fix it for him and having to quality control that. So it's like boom, 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 boom. Can't get out of it. He's not a client. I know him very, very well. But apparently, according to him, that's what he wants to do. However, I noticed a lot of birthday parties and family functions where he's not showing up until the last minute. Typically always dirty, stressed out, sweaty, all that kind of stuff. And in my head, I'm like, dang, that sucks.
It doesn't have to be this way.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
So the owner-operator mindset of I have to do this all on my own if I want the results that I want is a mindset barrier that a lot of people face in business during, no matter how much you make. But that type of mindset will always limit you to your fullest potential.
What is it that determines that mindset? Like, why do we do that? Does it have to do with inability to teach other people, or does it have to do with trust, or does it have to do with the bank?
I think it has
budgets?
something to do with a little bit of that, budgets, all that stuff. I think it comes down to trust, and I think it also comes down to, well, most people that start their own business were a technician for somebody else before, and that's what they know how to do best. right? Like, for example,
so that's the E-myth.
you're a great videographer. I was getting right into that. You're a great videographer. So when you came into business, you were immediately the technician, also the manager, and the business owner.
Yeah.
Those 3 levels is pretty much what you become. The idea is to go from, owner-operator really quick into management, which you do some technician work, but you oversee a group of people that do a lot of the stuff you don't want to do. And then eventually get into ownership or leader, to where you're leading a bunch of managers, setting expectations straight and understandable, and running things off of performance indicators so the managers can go to their team and say, okay, guys, this is what we're supposed to do. This is the result. This is the game plan. Get at it. You know? But when you become a business owner in the beginning, you become all 3 at once.
Yeah.
And as the business grows and grows and grows, you start to dilute each one of those 3 positions, and then you start to become more of 1 or 2 than all 3. And what tends to happen is owner-operators are the best technicians and doing their best to manage themselves on a small crew, to where leadership responsibilities are ignored because there's no time for that. Right?
Yeah.
Or if you're nothing but the leader, don't want to get things done, and you're trying to manage, but there's no good technician or training for those technicians, that could also be just as devastating.
Do you think some of it has to do with a deeper purpose? Like sometimes you feel like that's my thing. I'm like, this is me. I enjoy doing this, but then you find yourself saying yes and doing it, and it always takes longer than you thought. And that's the part that you don't like, is just that it took longer than you thought, but you like doing the thing, and that's why you want to do it, and you're not thinking bigger. Because I don't know. At first, I still love it, but I love going out and videoing. I love videoing in here. I love gear. I like talking about it. I like using it to help people. But now it's like I like sharing that with other team members, and then seeing them enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think about when you first started, it was just you, you know. One of the topics that we hit hard the first year of business was, what was your vision?
Yeah.
And although you loved being a videographer, one of the things that drove you the most was, I don't want my wife to work.
Yeah.
So I think you naturally had to become somewhat dissatisfied being the business owner operator.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's it. If we're this is live vulnerable for me, Joe.
Okay, let's do it.
Live coaching mode. Here we go.
Oh my gosh.
Live coaching. That title and graphic.
Action Coach.
Okay, so I'm so content with where God has me that it's hard to get dissatisfied because I always have so much gratitude. And I can develop longing for another thing, but the dissatisfaction part comes hard. You know? And then I get a little bit crazy sometimes. And it sounds weird saying this, and my future self listening to this, and be like, dude. So sometimes saying it out loud helps.
Yeah.
Is I kind of like walking the line a little. And
Like how?
you know,
like give me an example. Because walking the line can be a lot of examples, right? So
like taking risks.
okay.
Like, oh, we got to scale, or
Yeah.
if we wait longer to retire, then we can scale first. It's going to be tight, but I know God's going to get us through, and I use my faith, and
Yeah. I've seen that risk in you, like that risk taker in you.
and
I've seen
then
that.
and then I build it, and it's usually calculated risk, but at the same time, it's like there's only been a couple of moments where I'm like, I hate this feeling. I don't want this ever again. But then I get to the other side of that feeling. Like when you're like, shoot, plug your ears, producer, but how am I going to run payroll?
Yeah.
You know? And then, but then it works because God sends someone to book right then and there. You know what's funny is I was praying for this is a faith moment too. I was praying for someone to book with us, and I knew we had a good solution. I'm called to this, and God's going to get us through.
Yeah.
But it got right at that point where like,
Down to the
okay,
wire.
I don't know how I'm going to do this. I really don't know. Like, and I'm creative. I can figure out how can I. But it was so much, and it's like this would have to happen yesterday. And I prayed, and I'm like, God, could this come through right now or something? And because it's all out there, I've done my part.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of waiting for an action to be had. And I've already done a lot of follow-ups.
I remember this one. You did really well.
But then what's hilarious, I think that God has a little sense of humor because it turns out when I prayed for that, it had already happened.
Oh.
And I just didn't see it.
Paid? Mm-hmm. I do remember that.
So then I was like, oh my goodness. And not to like depending on where you stand with him and stuff, whatever. But dude, Charlie Kirk meant something to me at this point of time.
Yeah, me too.
Because he started relating to that as he's speaking on a business standpoint.
Right.
And when I heard him talk about that stuff, I was like, dude, it takes a certain tenacity, a certain kind of risk, a mindset, a resilience.
Yeah. Well, remember, you become risk adverse as those things happen, right? You probably, you say you like to toe the line. You probably toe the line differently today than you did 4 years ago. Yeah. Right?
And since then.
Because you've toed the line, you've seen things work. Then you go a little bit more. Or you fail and you go back to a little bit of safety and then I need to be risky again. Boom. Right? So your risk aversion comes from all these experiences of praying, not knowing that it was already done, but God showing you, dude, you need me. Don't take me out of this business partnership. Yeah. And I agree 100% with you. I align the same way spiritually. And I mean, having God in my corner, Jesus Christ in my corner, has been the best thing. And I notice that as I pull away from him, my business shifts. As I draw near to him, my business equally shifts in a different direction.
Yeah, I agree.
And it doesn't always happen the way I think either. I mean, I asked God for him to increase my business, and he did it in the hardest way. I'm not going to go into that detail, but he provided an opportunity for me to be challenged to learn a different skill, where that skill became the thing that made me that had me sign the largest contract. Yeah. But I'm like, how come you just didn't give me the skill or the wisdom? I would not have appreciated it.
Character development is my theory. Yeah. Or the I don't know. I just want to measure the faithfulness. Yeah. This is in my hands. And whether you're a believer or not, if you're in this position, then it's on you, and you got to take the responsibility and do the inputs. And you know how many times I like operating out of my strengths 100%. And then weaknesses 0%. But you know how many of those things are necessary that are I don't like doing this. And it's not that I'm bad at it, but it's just I have resistance in my brain for it. Like some admin stuff and all that, Yeah. I just want to get up and talk to people all day or, all that.
Dude,
I want to do that. And eventually I could get there, but it's just I have to, they say it's good to actually be 80-20. Have you heard that? Yeah. Strengths Finder, 80% of your strengths and 20% of your weakness, because you have to. Yeah. You can't avoid it.
But even as you grow in business, even that 80% of your strengths, in my opinion, as you grow and mature in business and in just being able to master time, you're also not trying to figure out how to do all 80% of your strengths. You're trying to find the right people to delegate the right things to. Yeah. One of my strengths is leadership and delegation. Right? And it's a strength because I like to lead, I like to empower, I like to delegate, I also like to train, and I also like to come back and measure results, which makes it perfect because I don't just abdicate in most cases. I've abdicated before, and turns out, you can't always trust everybody the same exact way, even though you want to. But I've abdicated when I had too much on my plate. So I didn't have time to go and check quality. So I've learned to limit what's on my plate and do the 4 or 5 things really, really well. Yeah. And I going back to one of the main things we're talking about, which is sometimes you don't feel dissatisfaction in a certain area. It's a thing that you love, like what you did, right? Yeah. But I grow in dissatisfaction when I know that I'm coasting and not living to my truest potential. So if I know I should scale my business, if I choose to coast, I naturally become dissatisfied with how I feel. Right? Yeah. This became something when my business was actually built to where I wanted it to, and it was being run without me. I had to figure out something else to do, or else I would have created chaos in my business. I just coached another guy I was like, dude, do not create chaos in what's working. It's your golden egg now.
Yeah.
Go find something else to do. Well, this gentleman's developing an app. I'm like, good.
Sweet.
Good.
Wait,
Do
is
it.
that good?
It's amazing.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's amazing. So it's like he's doing it, and now it's like, this is going to be a multi-million-dollar business. And I actually believe it. I'm like, dude, you're crazy in an amazing way. Like, I told him that.
Huh.
You know, very actionable individual. I'm hoping he actually books time to be part of this podcast. You know who I'm talking about, right?
No.
The guy that we talked about before the podcast.
Oh.
That was supposed to call you.
Oh, he's got an app. Okay.
Yeah. So, so there's a lot of common myths. Let me just run through some of them because of time. Another myth is, I only work off of referrals.
Ooh.
That's a big myth. And I want to go down that on a marketing podcast, but
Okay.
there's a lot of people that still believe I don't need a market, I don't need a brand, I don't need to do the things, I don't need to get involved in technology, I don't need to. Let me tell you something. If you don't do things the way things are supposed to be done, you will become obsolete very, very soon. Very soon.
Yeah. What happens when someone else moves in and, outspends you on ads, which $100 would outspend you because you're not even doing it.
Right. That means they're going to get so many more people to see them before they see you. And if they're good at closing, they don't have to be good at the product. They can be good at closing. You're never going to get that business.
Dude,
Ever.
sales tactics are changing, you know?
Everything's on convenience now.
And authority.
And authority. You could sell a job just by being the first person to answer a phone call or a text and having some authority.
Yeah.
Not even a whole lot. But people are buying on convenience now.
But how do they find you?
ChatGPT, Google.
And how do you get on that?
So when Google, what is their AI? Gemini?
Yeah.
And when ChatGPT do the research for you, they've already made a buying decision. They're like 80% ready to close if you just say the right things. And it doesn't even have to be elaborate.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
And you know what helps with that?
What?
Podcasts.
Podcasting.
And various other things.
So so there's a lot in between. I won't go there. And lastly, like after the business is done, so I've been blessed to see the end of some of my businesses and also some of my clients.
Yeah.
And there's always a mindset block around your identity was hooked on that business. So me and my wife and I sold one of our largest businesses, made a lot of money off of it. And we noticed that in our what do we do, we became depressed in a way where it's like our entire identity was building that business every day, every waking moment of that day. And in a matter of a night, when a check comes in the mail and you sign all the papers, you no longer have that identity. It sounds weird, but it is so real.
Well, that was a little bit of what Ashish on one of our season 1 or season 2? He mentioned that. And he's like, man, I just got bored. Like,
yeah. So my wife got depressed. I got bored, and I created chaos, and I lost a lot of money.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Well, another thing too is I saw this lump sum in my bank. I'm like, yeah, that's yeah. It was so. If I could give some wisdom to people who sold a business and got a large lump sum coming in, wait before you spend it. I should have waited at least 6 months to a year before I spent that.
Dang,
So
I always wonder if it's
wise moves.
If it's a good amount, because if my goal and with personal finance and business finance really is to live under the means for so long. Like, what if I could do only 40% or 20% and live off of that and have the lifestyle of that for so long? Because I just hear so many stories from other people that, you see it. Like, you win the lottery, what do? I don't want to go and spend it all,
Yeah.
I want to go and make sure it actually, invest it, and then it comes back, and then I live off of what's the dividends,
Exactly. And I could have done that, and I failed to do that. And so there's opportunities in the future to do the same or even more, and I know for a fact I'm going to do it differently. But sometimes you just have to go through it. It's just like business. Sometimes you have to make those necessary mistakes to develop that resilience. So
does everybody that starts or sells a business, do they start a coaching business then after that?
No, I don't think so. But coaching is becoming something pretty big. Like a lot of people are doing that. So,
and you know what? Like, just real quick, like on coaching, it's kind of crazy because there are like a vast amount of majority out there that offer coaching. But he didn't ask me to say this, but
Nope.
what really stands out is you've been there and you've done it
multiple times.
And you're not just Coach Joe. There's a whole firm.
Yep.
And so you're doing it again. And someone could be an Andy Reid, where you never actually played the game, but you're super smart.
Right. And he's gotten Super Bowls.
But not everyone's Andy Reid.
Yeah.
In business, So
sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's nice to have the mixture in the team, and so you got people who've done it, you got people who are good in this area or that area in the firm and all that. And I really think that makes it unique.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of just pointing that out just because earlier we were talking about finding, I merely mentioned it, where you find your role in the marketplace. Like, what's my unique selling proposition, And so at those beginning stages, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And you think it's unique because of 20,000 ideas you have that you haven't actually sold on yet.
Yeah.
And you didn't get market research, actual, not just research, actual responses from market to be able to meet them where they are and what they actually need. Now, you can create a need, but it's got to be based on what they actually want first.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of pushing.
Well, I always tell people, if you have a few good ideas, sell it without even having it together and see if anybody will actually give you money for it. And then if they do, figure it out quick.
Yeah.
But
now you coach coaches.
I know.
And that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for that opportunity.
And people are really good, and we need more guides in this world. So I don't think there's a shortage or anything.
Yeah.
Or shortage is the wrong word.
Yeah.
I don't think there's too many out there. I think that
there's a lot of wrong ones though. I mean, I'll tell you this. I've seen people that have even had a business, sold it, but in some sense it feels like they got lucky with certain things and they feel like they can coach, but there's no system around even their coaching. It's just like, okay, how you feel? Let's talk about that. Well, part of coaching is saying, no. Let's get a game plan together. What do you know? What do you need to learn? How to create a plan around that? How do I push you to take action? And by the way, this all has to be led by your dreams, your goals, your vision, your core values, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So coaching can be complicated for those who just don't have the heart for it. But I appreciate the shout out. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I did not pay him to do that.
It's a testimony for real. Yeah. I see it. I'm embedded into their business and I see it.
Yeah.
I can see the dirt.
Yeah.
And the dirt is clean.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in on this episode. And don't forget, go to school.com and find us. Actually, link is in the description, so you don't have to find us. We made it even easier.
Yeah.
But when you join that and listen to this and subscribe on YouTube, you cannot help but see your business grow.
Yeah.
If you actually engage. You get what you put into it. It all starts for free. This is free information, but it's what you implement and exercise is where the true wisdom comes in. So we want to encourage you guys to do that and keep on keeping on and
stay strong, guys. Boom.